Hello everyone, this is Sunny Knable, and this is part 3 of composing a new work called Tenacity for the Parhelion Trio. That's to be premiered on May 31st, 2022. The reason I say March is because the original show was scheduled almost exactly 2 years ago. So there you have it. In this third edition, I wanted to show you that I've gone on to the next section. The reason I paused a little longer is because I've been collecting my thoughts and trying to organize better what I've wanted to do going forward. And so I think I've finally found a way through onto the next sections. Let me show you. In this second full section, we're starting with a miniature, let's call it a movement or a section I'm calling Silence. And this is where the pedal is holding. We're going to have air blowing through the instruments. And as you can see, I have these sort of markers of how long I want each one of these motions to happen. So this is going to be about a minute and a half of mainly just sounds coming from the flute, clarinet, and some from the piano, which is still ringing from the previous bell movement. Oops, there we go. So that's still ringing occasionally. Okay, so I can't quite approximate this, but I took these shapes from graphs that I saw, and I'm going to get more detailed once I write this out. But you can see that this is segueing into a new section, and as I played through this, I wrote this last week. I realized I think I want something else to bridge the gap. So I started coming up with material that was more flowing. As you can see, I'm still, crossing things out. I'm collecting my ideas, but I finally came upon this idea, which was just a really slow between flute and clarinet, slow and meditative. It's meant to represent our just kind of the timelessness that we were all feeling, being stuck at home and not doing much of anything. Then we have on top of that, we have the piano coming in with these somber figures. Then we're gonna explore a new, you could call it a key area, let's say, or a salient pitch. Okay, again, it's slower, it's meditative. And then finally the low piano comes in. And this will be transitional, pushing to a greater tempo into more driving music, and that's going to represent back here. So you can see I wanted to get to this moment. I was having trouble bridging that gap, and I finally found the way through this sort of silent section. So this would be the start of a new section, a third section that's meant to focus on the sounds that we made coming out of, New York City remembers well that at 7 o'clock we would hear everyone would be clapping and banging pots and pans. So everyone wanted to represent this kind of, it's joyful and chaotic music. It's a bit noisy. So it's coordinated, but it's not. The instruments are operating at different times. It finally gets more and more cluttered. As you can see, I have little inserts, INS, meaning insert. So I'm responding to, I think this, we need more time here, less time there. And then finally we get to building, 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 and then we'll have a big cutoff, and that will go into another section. But turning back to the opening where I have more of my ideas all laid out, that would be headed into a kind of marching section, so that you can kind of hear the momentum is building, and that would be going back into, you know, some new material. As you can see, I've worked my way through, you know, the initial set. I haven't drawn on the inversion material yet. I've worked mainly with this new material, the silence, peaceful material, and then we're getting more into the march here. So that's where I am in the composition. As you can tell, it's a start and stop sometimes, but you know, in part of that struggle, I know that a better piece is born. And next week, I hope to have another section for you to show you that I'm working my way through, marching my way through the streets in protest, or at least showing that representation on stage. So I'll see you over there. Take care.